Good afternoon. This is Pastor Carol Gates from Lamb of God Lutheran Episcopal Church, and I am here this afternoon with Bruce and Peggy Frost. I am so glad that they have said yes to the invitation for the Good News Now. So we're out here now to talk about good news now in your lives. And we know as Christian people that the good news refers to Jesus Christ in our lives. That's how we're playing off the word good news now. But I'd also like to know how that good news has been part of your life during COVID, during this time.
The good news has been always of hope. We are positive people. There's bad things that go on, but you can, in fact, just this last week, we were talking about the places we want to go and the things that we want to do as soon as the COVID shutdown is over. Well, that is the hope and the looking forward to, not dwelling on, well, we could sit around and gripe about, well, we can't do this and we can't do that. We're looking ahead to see what can we do, where can we go, what can we do, and looking at coming up in this next year, a year of hope and excitement about what we can do, because we've been cooped up. We haven't been cooped up before. We want to get out and do some more things, because that's what we do. That's why we came down here. We could have stayed in Kansas, where both our families have been for 150 years, but we wanted an adventure.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, I think I would just say that Bruce in particular has so much to give with all his talents financially, that I am glad that he's availed himself, or he's put himself out there for brain picking, so to speak, and being on committees and everything. And I'm just so proud of him for doing that, because if we all have talents, we should use them to make our communities and our churches better places to live and be.
So when I speak about faith now, it's how in the midst of all of this, has your faith changed or not changed, grown stronger? How?
Mine has grown stronger. And if it wouldn't be for Zoom church and Bible studies, I don't know, I probably would have just drifted off somewhere. But honestly, it's put God front and center for me, and my faith front and center, and it's strengthened it for me.
We've always been what we feel strong Christians. We wandered off and didn't attend much church for a period of time, but since coming down here, and maybe it's the setting, maybe it's the more of a natural setting, and the realization that this is all of everything around here is what God put here. Millions of years ago, He put this here for, and not just for us, but He just put it here. And so I think my faith has gotten a lot stronger too, as we realize, and some of it is the classes that you've had, as digging deeper into the thought processes of our religion and what we do.
How we live our faith.
Yeah. I don't know if one of the churches we went to in Sweden, the Little Countries Church where both our families went to, and the baptismal font was what, 400 years old?
I think it was like 1,200 years old.
I mean, that's the community. And we were there, and we went to church that Sunday. And the only word we really understood the whole time was Jesus Christ. And that was the only words we knew. And it was tied to the length of longevity of religious in family, year after year, generation after generation. 1,200 years our families had been baptized in this fountain. And you get to the realization of just how vast how vast and powerful God is. And it just wasn't just this, well, we need to go to church because we go to church. You just start to realize the magnitude of generations that have felt the same way and pass that on to their next generations.
Yeah, it was a very, very profound experience.
Sounds like it. It sounds like it, especially going back and knowing you have roots there. That's amazing. That is amazing. So as I look forward, me personally, to the community of Lamb of God, I clearly know how I feel about Lamb of God, and a lot of those feelings come from the people, all of you. So you make it very easy to be a pastor at Lamb of God. But I'd like to touch on what your hopes and dreams are for Lamb of God in the future here.
I am so, Lamb of God has has been more active in the community than any other church that we've been a part of. The food banks and Eva's Closet, things like this. And that's what really impressed me was how active in the community this church is. And I just love it because that's what Christians are supposed to be. They're supposed to be community outreach people. Feeding the 5,000 was just incredible. I've never been a part of a church that has been that community minded. And I would hope, and my hope is for Lamb of God to even become more active and find more missions within the community.
And I like the people and the getting together, the hot dogs. I love food truck food. I love food truck food. It's great to me. And as we go forward, I'd like to see more of the food trucks because I think people sit around and talk where they wouldn't have a chance otherwise.
Right.
And you can add an ice cream truck to that
Yeah.
for the summer. Ben and Jerry's Cherry Garcia being something that you
Okay.
could make sure that is on that. We really enjoy that, going over and just having some relaxing time.
Yeah, the fellowship, it's wonderful.
It is. It absolutely is. Well, you have shared, just by virtue of talking about Lamb of God, about the good news, because it is about, as you said, I can't say Jesus Christ the way you did, and this with the Swedish accent.
Jesus Christ.
But it's truly the foundation of Lamb of God and the community. So I thank you for your time this morning. And what I'd like to say is thank you all for joining us too. This is Pastor Carol Gates for the Good News Now.